it's just not, it's not personal at all. You should never run through pricing ever on a cold call. You can very easily actually go onto Google Maps and just scrape a whole bunch of leads. All right, today we are doing something a little bit different. I'm gonna explain how to get good at cold calling, or at least how we got good at cold calling, or good enough, right? I'm gonna cover how you should reframe cold calling first, you know, what your SOP should be, like i.e. how everything works, how you can differentiate yourself and make it easier as a whole by asking better questions, then how volume and tracking actually equates to measurable success and measurable skill, and you can find out where you're going wrong with everything. And then I'm gonna finish off with a challenge. So that's basically how the entire video is gonna go. If you stick around, hopefully you get some good sauce, because that's all I kind of want to do here. And if I'm going to be honest, we do cold calling pretty well, and we've gotten a few clients from it, so it is a proven way of getting clients. So first of all, you need to reframe cold calling as a whole. I'm sure you have heard it 1,000 times, but you really have to be okay with rejection. There is absolutely no way you are ever going to be at least okay at cold calling if you're going to be a bit scared of someone telling you to F off or just a no 1,000 times a day. I have gotten so many F offs, so many no's, so many not interested, and it's not really personal. Like, even when the guy's telling you to F off, it's not really because he doesn't like you as a person. He doesn't want to get pitched on the phone, and that's fine. You don't have to get all grumpy about it or acerbic. It's fine. It's just the way stuff works, right? So first, that's first. You have to be okay with rejection. It is not a bad thing. I argue that it's actually a pretty good thing. You get rejected so many times because it's training for life as well, not just within business, but life as well. You're not going to get so upset if you... I'm not going to over-explain. Not going to do that. Secondly, cold calling isn't about persuasion. It's really about qualifying. Cold calling, you're not really trying to persuade people or convince. You're actually trying to identify someone with the problem, right? And reach out to them and appeal to them. Of course, having nice words and framing it correctly and being okay at sales or understanding human psychology is obviously going to be good for you. If I'm going to be honest, if you follow a script enough for a long enough time or over a big enough quantity of people, you will absolutely 100% undeniably have success. I guarantee it. Even if you have a zero EQ and don't understand sales at all, you will book people and you will hopefully close people on a sales call if you follow a script. But yeah, you're not trying to convince people. You are trying to appeal to the people that have a problem and then book them. But you're finding the people who have the problem, you're appealing to them and just trying to get them on that call. You're not trying to sell on a cold call. You should never run through pricing ever on a cold call. But yes, rejection is not personal at all. It's not personal at all. They're basically rejecting your number on the screen. You're not a real person to them. It's just cold call. And let's say you're calling plumbers and they're probably going to be a bit annoyed because they have their head in the middle of pipes or something, right? It's not personal at all. Next thing, you have to have an SOP, standard of procedure. I think that's what it is. Anyway, leave the lingo. You have to know how everything works from the start to the end, right? But even the background stuff. So you have to have a lead list. You have to scrape the lead list, so you have to have a scraper tool, right? But those leads, who are they? Who, where, and why? Let's say you're calling plumbers from Victoria, and why are you calling them? Google Ads, right? Those are your three. You need to know, otherwise you're just calling random businesses. You can very easily actually go into Google Maps and just scrape a whole bunch of leads from, like, say, South Australia or the Northern Territory or something, or even in the US if you want to do that and get some other, anyway, you can do that. And this lead list, you should put it into a Google Sheet and you should track absolutely every single call. You have to take down the outcome of each call. You have to know exactly what happened, what their situation was, and class every single one. So if there are no answers, you can class them as gray or make the row gray. If they did answer but they're not interested, or that they told you to F off or don't call me or whatever, put it as red. If they're interested but maybe later, put it as orange, and then those are your follow-up people. if they book the call with you, put them as green. And then let's say Matt at 6 p.m. on Thursday. But after you book the call with them, or they say, yes, okay, let's do the call, find out a bit about their situation. How much do they have to spend? Have they ever done it before? Have they been burnt by another agency? Find out about their situation. Otherwise, you're just going into the dark with them. And if you do Meta ads and Google ads and they've been burnt by Meta ads before, pitch them on Google ads. Or find out more about their Meta ads situation if all you do is Meta ads. And then say, okay, what went wrong with that was X, Y, Z. And then on the call, you can say, all right, look, if you don't want to buy, that's fine, whatever. But this is exactly what went wrong with the other people. And if you want to run your own ads, that's fine. But I'm going to tell you how to do it. And then give them the free source. Because number one, who cares? Number two, you're doing a good thing. Number three, they will, if you give them free stuff or the free source, or you actually prove to them that you know exactly what you're talking about, they're just going to be like, okay, yeah, okay, good. All right. And then when you rattle off $1,500 setup, they'll be like, ugh, but he knows what he's talking about. And they're just going to pay you. It's pretty easy. Well, it's not easy, but like understanding the psychology of giving someone something for free, that's easy. Next, script is very, very important. I've been told that you shouldn't have a word for word script. I don't agree with that at all. I think you should absolutely have a word for word script. You should know exactly how to read it from A to Z, especially when starting, but you don't need to follow it to a T, right? When you're first starting, I actually do think that you should read it read the script on your cold calls, but you don't need to follow it when you kind of get into the groove of things, or you know what you're talking about, or you know where to go after your initial pitch. Next, ask better questions. I'm running through this really, really quickly because I don't want it to be too long of a video and I don't want it to be too boring. So you ask better questions and you can actually handle objections with questions. So let's say we specialize in Google ads for plumbers. You know, we're looking for plumbers who want to grow in 2026, fill up their books and get more quotes, leads and all that sort of stuff. Does that sound like you? This is all very rough. No, not interested. All right, absolutely. Is that because you have someone doing that at the moment for you? Yeah. My friend's cousin's doing it for me. All right, great. That's really cool, actually. Is he doing good stuff? Yeah, I mean, it's good enough. Like it works. Like it's fine. It's like, all right, that's great. Look, I don't want to step on any toes, Matt. Is it worth having a look at potentially better results out there if they were out there? Oh yeah. All right, well, look, all I'm asking for is a 10-15 minute, it's a no obligation conversation. We'll show you what we do, who we do it for, how it works, and the results that we've gotten in the past. And if it makes sense, great. If not, no, you never have to see my ugly face again. Okay, okay, all right. Just throw a time at me. What kind of works for you? 2 p.m. Tuesday for you. These are all super clunky because I'm not actually having a conversation with someone. And it should be easier, but for me it's not, because whatever I say in that situation just comes out. I don't really script it, I don't really do that. It just works. But that's like, you ask them questions and then you handle the objections as well, right? But also ask the questions when they book a call. Have you done it in the past? What are you actually trying to achieve with the Google ads? What do you want to do? Do you want to grow aggressively in 2026? Do you want to just have odd jobs on the side when your other stuff dries out? Because those guys that want the odd jobs may not be the best fit for you if you're growing as an agency, because they'll call you every 2 weeks. Hey, can we pause the ads? I don't have enough money. I have too much work at the moment. I have this. We can't facilitate. We can't do that, right? So that you need to qualify them first on the call as well. But also, if you are just starting out, you don't really need to. Just get them on the call. You have the practice with the sales calls, and hopefully, ideally, a close at the end of the day. You should be having as many conversations, as many sales calls as you can when you first start out. Don't be too picky, and if you find out it's not a fit on the call, great. You've gone through a whole sales call, but you figured out it wasn't a fit. That's another wrap in, right? They may have asked you a question on that sales call. When you go to another sales call with someone who's really, really keen to buy, and you know exactly how to handle that question, you know exactly how to handle a potential objection, anything like that, right? So get as many reps in cold calls and sales calls as well. Lastly, volume and tracking equals measurable success and skill, right? So if you do, actually, the number one thing to do is volume, okay? Volume is basically everything, especially in cold calling, because give you an example. I did 50 cold calls today. One booked, 2%. And that's a good day, if I'm gonna be completely honest. I usually do more cold calls, but 2% booking rate, that's pretty good. And you need to track it as well. You need to track all the volume that you do. It's very easy in a Google Sheet and it's very cheap. Volume kind of cancels out skill in a way, but if you have volume and skill, then it's just a recipe for success, really. But if you're just starting out, do a whole heap of volume, track it all with gray, red, orange, and green. Add notes to people who are orange or green, even red if you'd like, because you may want to keep them down in the future to then reach out to them. And measure everything, track everything. Look, I've rambled, if I'm going to be honest. It sounds sick and twisted, but I do actually like cold calling. I enjoy it. Sometimes it does get quite arduous and tedious, but I'll leave you with this. Okay, I've rambled, apologies, whatever. I hope I've given you at least a little bit of guidance. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But what you need to do is reframe cold calling. Rejection is not personal at all. It's not. You need to have an SOP. You need to know how absolutely everything works from the first time you click that green call button to ring someone. You need to know exactly what is going to happen from there all the way to booking them, right? And you need to ask better questions because that helps you in handling objections. That helps you in just having the conversation and portraying that you actually know what you're talking about. And lastly, volume and tracking. You need to do it. You need volume. And you need to track because you need to know exactly what it is. Tracking will help you identify where the actual clunkiness and the problems are. Now, finally, lastly, I'm going to give anyone who's gotten to the end of the video a challenge. You should do at least 20 cold calls a day for the first week. Track them all. At the end of the week, if you do it from Monday to Friday, that is 100 cold calls. That is 100 people that you have made an effort to speak to in trying to help grow your business. That is better than not at all. In the week 2, you should do 30. At the end of the week, that is 150 people. And then week 3, you should do 40 a day. At the end of the week, that is 200 people. Do it for at least 3 weeks. And then if it doesn't work or you really, really don't like it, don't do it. And then you can go down another route. But just try it, just do it. If I've actually helped you and you've maybe taken notes or done anything or it's been mildly helpful to you, comment, like, subscribe. Really appreciate everyone that subscribes, likes, and all that sort of stuff. I love hearing your thoughts, love seeing it all in the comments. So comment anything, whatever, even if you don't like what I look like or my hair, comment that, that's fine with me. And yeah, I've rambled, I apologize, but I just wanted to get everything that I said out and hopefully it helps at least one person.